You've got a spotlight on when President Trump will announce the replacement for Justice Ginsburg. And he has said that will likely happen Friday or Saturday. Some of his staff said maybe even potentially Wednesday. There's a service for Justice Ginsburg on Thursday. There's also a lying in state on Friday. These are more limited because of COVID, but I certainly wanted to let some of those activities go by before announcing Justice Ginsburg, the late Justice Ginsburg's replacement. There have been 29 vacancies on the Supreme Court in election year. Presidents have made nominations in all 29 of those. That didn't mean they all got confirmed, but the presidents follow their constitutional role to nominate in all 29 of those. That's what they do. Now, what has the Senate done? Well, when it's the same party as the president, so 19 of the 29 times I just talked about where there's vacancies in election year, the party that was the same as the president confirmed 17 justices to the Supreme Court. So only 2 were rejected when the same party was in charge of both the White House and the Senate. That goes for Republicans and Democrats, by the way. Now, on the opposite party of the president, 10 of the 29 times have been when the Senate has been of the opposite party of the president. Guess how many of those got through? 2. So 17 out of 19 when it's the same party, president and Senate. 2 out of 10 when the president is a different party than the U.S. Senate. And Than, I think that just goes to elections having consequences. The American people know if you want this kind of battle of Washington, D.C., you would put in place senators in charge of the opposite party of the president so that you would get these more moves that were more similar to what we saw under Merrick Garland and in history where only 2 out of 10 of those nominated when it was in a situation like President Obama's made it through. Or you could choose the situation like the 19 of 29 times where 17 out of 19 were confirmed when it was the same party.
And, Jordan, there's a very important reason for that. It's not just precedent. It's not just the opinions of the politicians who, by the way, politicians on both sides of this, Jordan, have flip-flopped. Absolutely, they have. But the important reason, the reason it's set out this way by our founders is so that the American people have a regular opportunity to weigh in and either affirm the authority of the president under Article 2, Section 2, or provide a check on that president. Jordan, the seat doesn't belong to Justice Ginsburg, as great as her life does. It doesn't belong to any president. It doesn't belong to any of those politicians across the street who have flip-flopped on this issue. It belongs to the American people. And just quickly, Jordan, I'll tell you, we're going to hear so many times about 2016 and Merrick Garland, but the American people were given an opportunity in 2014 to go to the polls and decide whether or not they wanted President Obama to have the ability to fill a seat in the final 2 years. They chose to send a Senate to Washington, D.C. to provide a check on President Obama. What did they decide in 2018? They decided to send a Senate to Washington, D.C. to affirm President Trump. He will absolutely nominate, and the Senate is absolutely entitled to proceed or not proceed. And why, Jordan? It's because the seat belongs to the American people, and they chose this Senate to be the one to make a decision on that nomination.
And I look at this as a duty on the part of the president, not a right. As Stan said, we've got a president of the United States who was put in office by the people of the United States. You've got a Senate that is Republican. You've got a vacancy that was created by the death of Justice Ginsburg. For all the amazingness of her life, I disagreed with her most of the time, but nonetheless, she was a great public servant, and I acknowledge that. But the reality is that there is a vacancy, and he is the incumbent president of the United States. He has the right to fill it. He doesn't have to wait till he's reelected. If he is, he doesn't have to wait for an inauguration of a new president. If that happens to be the case, there is a vacancy. He fills it, and he goes to the United States Senate for its advice and consent. Period. The end.